Can you take your first touch like this? Or is your first touch like a wall? You're not alone. In this video, I'll show you 5 tips that will change your touch from this to this. When I was younger, a coach of mine gave me one of the best pieces of advice for taking a better first touch. My first touch was consistently too heavy, and that caused me to lose the ball constantly. His advice was to make my first touch like a pillow. Now take a second to think about your pillow. It's pretty soft, right? Now that's how you want your first touch to be. When you're taking your first touch, you need to absorb the ball's momentum, just like how your pillow absorbs your head's momentum when you're going to sleep. Some of you may be thinking, it isn't just as easy as having a soft first touch, because then everybody in the world would have a good first touch. And you're partly right. But the next time you play, try to think of your foot as a pillow to cushion the ball, and you'll be shocked by how big of a difference it can make. Another small detail that can make a huge difference in improving your first touch is to meet the ball as it makes contact with you. If you just let the ball hit your foot or your thigh, then it's just gonna bounce straight off you. In order to absorb the ball, like I said in tip number 1, then you need to meet the ball the split second it is making contact with your foot. This allows you to move your foot back as the ball arrives and absorb the force from the ball and redirect it into the direction you want to go. Meeting the ball as it arrives at your foot is a crucial detail that will drastically improve your first touch. Now that you have a soft first touch, you need to make sure that you don't kill the ball. And no, I don't mean stabbing the ball, but I mean stopping the ball dead in its tracks. This is when you actually take too soft of a touch and the ball comes in, and then it actually will end up getting stuck underneath your feet. If you do this, it's hard to take the ball in the direction you need to go quickly. Instead of covering that ground in just one touch, you'll need 2 or 3 touches just because the ball is stuck underneath your feet, and you'll need those touches to get the ball out of your feet before you can actually go at speed. And this leads into the 3rd tip, which is to take your first touch into space. The game of soccer is a fast-paced game, with defenders coming to press you and win the ball back, or at least rush you into making a mistake. One way to beat the pressure of the defenders is to take your touch into space away from the pressure. This gives you more time on the ball to make a decision as well as to find a pass. If you take your first touch away from pressure, you're also less likely to lose the ball. A lot of times though, when we receive the ball, there is heavy pressure on us anyways, and the defenders will try to push or shove you just to try to make you take a bad first touch. And this leads me into tip number 4, which is to use your body as you're taking your first touch. As a player, before you receive the ball, you need to check your shoulder. This tells you if you have the time and space to turn or if the pressure is coming. And most of the time, the pressure is coming. Since you checked your shoulder, you can actually use your body to protect the ball and keep it away from the defender. You can either use your body to juke or fake out the defender, or you can just use it to bump the defender as he comes, so that way you're the aggressor and you're not having a reaction. If you do this little bump, you're far more likely to be able to control the ball since you're expecting it, rather than getting hit by the defender first. This bump will also stop his momentum and help you create a little bit of space to give you extra time on the ball. Like I said earlier, this little bit of space is all you need to help you make a turn and face him up, or to find a pass. Also, I'd like to say before I get into tip number 5 that I love you guys and I appreciate that you guys have watched the video so far. And if you have, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like or even just a comment. Thank you. As much as I appreciate you guys watching these videos, I hope that you're gonna be doing tip number 5 too. And tip number 5 is to increase the amount of time you are spending developing your first touch. The other tips I've given you can really make a big difference in improving the quality of your first touch. But they are of no value if you don't take the extra time to go out and train and develop your first touch. And first touch training is great because all you need is a ball, a partner, or a wall. And if you're working on your first touch by controlling the ball out of the air, you don't need either of those things at all. If you really want to improve your first touch, then I recommend watching this video here, where I show you a full first touch training session that is fantastic in developing your first touch ability. And after you watch it, write down the training session and then go out and use it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and got better because you watched it.